Welcome to the realm of intoxicating flavors and head-banging beer reviews.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Rare Beer Club. I'm your host, the Ginger Yeti, and if you're new to the channel, the Rare Beer Club is a subscription club put out by the beerofthemonthclub.com. I receive a box every month that contains 2 hand-selected bottles this size, cost about $60. I unbox the beers at select one to review blindly, and then I review the second one in another video. So this is the second one of the last box I opened. This is the Speedway Stout from Alesmith Brewing out of San Diego, California. Now this beer, it's kind of weird to see this in the Rare Beer Club because this beer is easy to find. It's on the shelves everywhere. It's usually in cans. I don't think I've seen it in a bomber bottle like this in a long time. But the ratings on this are really good. So as far as ratings go, on Untappd it gets a 4.17 with over 145,000 check-ins. That is a ton of check-ins. And to be that high with that many check-ins, that is crazy. On Beer Advocate, it gets a 97 world class with over 7,000 check-ins with an aggregate score of 4.38. So both of those highly rate this. So the ratings do make it worth the Rare Beer Club. So looking at the bottle here, it's a black bottle. It's got paper and hopefully just a crown and not a cork underneath. It's a Speedway Stout, Imperial Stout with coffee, 12% alcohol. Just I'm sure everybody's familiar with that bottle. On the back here, there's a bunch of small writing that I'll probably struggle through. Great American Beer Festival 2008, Small Brewing Company of the Year. Speedway Stout's ominous pitch black appearance has become a hallmark of this modern day classic. Chocolate and roasted malts dominate the flavors, supported by notes of dark fruit, toffee, and caramel. A healthy dose of locally roasted coffee from Ryan Brothers Coffee Incorporated added to each batch brings out the beer's dark chocolate flavors and enhances its drinkability. Despite its intensity, Speedway Stout's fine carbonation and creamy mouthfeel make it very smooth and surprisingly easy to drink. This beer ages very well and will continue to mature for many years to come. This beer's great balance makes it a very food-friendly Imperial Stout. Pair its roasty flavors with robust mouthfeel with rich beef dishes and char-grilled foods. Both chocolate and vanilla desserts also pair well, as do salty blue cheeses like Stilton or hard nutty cheeses like aged Gouda and cloth-bound cheddars. Serve in a goblet at 50 to 55 degrees. And there we go once again. The bottle tells you exactly what kind of glassware. Paperwork that always comes. Well, it finally happened to me. You would think after all the people I've watched videos of who've complained about this, and even having it happen a couple times when I was a guest on a Beer Day with TK's channel, you'd think I'd be smart enough to make sure I had enough recording space left before I started a video, especially a long-ass video. But apparently I ran out of recording space. So, I apologize for that. As I was saying, you would think the paperwork would match what the bottle says. The bottle says that it should be a goblet. The paperwork says a globe snifter, a tulip, or a small nonic. Now, I didn't realize that I ran out of storage space until I was finished with the video. So I have already opened it and poured it. There was no big deal about opening it. It's just this foil paper and this cool crown that I'll put a picture of up in the video somewhere. And I don't remember if I said the ratings on this, but Untappd gives it a 4.17 with 145,000 check-ins. Beer Advocate was 97 world class with over 7,000 check-ins. Aggregate score of 4.38. Now, it always comes with this paperwork, so I'm going to read this for the second time. Hopefully, at least I don't stumble over the words this time. So, Alesmith Brewing Company out of San Diego, California. This is their Speedway Stout. Alesmith Brewing Company is one of San Diego's premier breweries and pioneers of Southern California's craft brewing scene. Founded in 1995, Alesmith's beginnings were humble. With a 3-man team and a 15-barrel brew system, they made the most of their single-unit space with enough room for an office and a tasting bar. After a few years of getting well established, Alesmith earned a silver medal for their Horny Devil Belgian Golden Strong Ale at the 1998 Great American Beer Festival. I don't think I've ever seen or heard of that beer. In 2002, Peter Zien, a grandmaster judge and decorated home brewer, took ownership of Alesmith and soon introduced their barrel aging program, with the first release being the epic barrel aged Speedway Stout. Wow, they spelled first wrong. FIRSRT. The hits keep coming as time went on, and in 2008, Alesmith was awarded Small Brewing Company and Brewer of the Year at the Great American Beer Festival. After almost 20 years of building the brewery into a world-class brand, Alesmith was rated #1 best brewery in the world and rated #1 brewery in California on ratebeer.com in 2014. Unfortunately, I believe ratebeer.com no longer exists. And it consistently ranks among the 10 best breweries in the world today. Between 2015 and now, Alesmith has grown in capacity, stature, and production, while still maintaining the highest quality standards and continuing to innovate. They've even added a creamery, Cheesesmith, that produces artisan cheeses to pair with their fine brews. Alesmith Brewing Company is also the home of the Tony Gwynn Museum, the San Diego Padres legend who played his entire 20-season career for them and was introduced to the Baseball Hall of Fame in 2007. That's pretty wild that a baseball player's personal museum is in or part of a brewery. That's completely nuts. The museum raises funds to benefit the Tony and Alicia Gwynn Foundation, which is a philanthropic organization that enhances educational, athletic, and housing prospects for youth and families in underprivileged communities. Anvil of Hope is another charitable organization associated with Alesmith and is headed up by Alesmith's owner, Peter and Vicky Zien. Anvil of Hope is deeply committed to strengthening the surrounding community. Check out their mission at anvilofhope.org. That's really cool. I always appreciate when breweries give back to their local communities, give back to charities, do those kind of things. It's really cool to see that. Builds camaraderie around their local community, and just it's nice to see them giving back to their community. So, the Speedway Stout pours an opaque black with a dark rim around the edges, dark tan foam with tiny bubbles cap this black elixir, showing very good retention and lacing. Already poured it, I'll pour some more. When I opened the bottle, there was no gun smoke, no hiss. It didn't creep up out of the bottle. When I originally poured it, there wasn't much of a head, just some islands of tannish bubbles floating around. I don't know if you can see it now, but it kind of formed a thin edge around the glass. And that's a 40 plus. When I originally brought my nose up to it, it was big boozy raisin, but that dissipated into like a kind of a chocolatey scent. And it's still got that chocolatey scent. When I originally opened it, it was at 54 degrees. Since I had to finish the recording and delete a bunch of, or since the recording ended, I had to delete a bunch of old crap off my phone. The beer's warmed up quite a bit. The serving temperature is 50 to 55. This is now at 62. But when I originally poured it, it was at 54. So, first aromas for me were, like I said, boozy raisin. This says from the glass are deeply roasted malts, dark roast coffee. Maybe a little bit of coffee now. Rich, earthy, and inviting. The aromas of dark chocolate. Yeah, I totally get the dark chocolate. Cocoa powder, maybe. Molasses, not really. Emerged to complement the initial aromatics. As we lean into the further investigate, our noses are treated to aromas of dark toasty toffee, rich caramel, plump dark fruit. Maybe a little bit of the dark fruit. There's a lightly charred vanilla bean note as well. I don't pick that up. With accompanying aromas of toasted marshmallow and bruleed brown sugar. I don't get any of that at all. The Speedway Stout is massively impactful from the first sip. The deeply roasted coffee notes make their presence known, as do dark, toasted, malty flavors. What I got off the original sip is what I'm getting now. Big chocolate, it's dark chocolate, some dark fruits. This is immensely decadent imperial stout. I would agree with that. With layers of flavor in every sip. Touches of char, dark caramel, and dark chocolate abound. I might pick up a little bit of char now that it's a little bit warmer than it should be. As do dried black fruits such as raisins and blackberries. I don't get raisins, but I do get some dark fruits. Speedway Stout then rewards us with darker, specialty malt flavors and toffee-like hints of sweetness. There's a little bit of like toffee sweetness in that. The more we taste, the more we discover, with notes of black pepper and toasted walnuts making a brief appearance. I don't know about all that. There might be like a peppery burn. It's not an alcohol burn, but it might be like a peppery burn there. Very faint. The deep roast of the coffee and malts, along with a generous amount of bittering hops, provides an ample 70 IBUs of lean bitterness to minimize the perceived sweetness of such a huge stout. And there we go. Everybody freaks out about IBUs. 70 IBU is way above what most IPAs are, double or triple even IPAs. A lot of those IPAs are nowhere near 70. And this is a stout, and it's 70 IBU, but you don't notice it. It's not a big hop bomb. It's not a punch in the face with hops, but it has a high IBU. And that goes to show you shouldn't be scared of a beer with a high IBU, because it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be super hoppy. A lot of times that high bitterness really cuts down on the sweetness of a beer. And you tend to see high IBUs in a lot of well-done, big, heavy stouts. So don't get scared of high IBUs when you're looking at beers. The Alesmith Speedway Stout is rich and full-bodied. Yeah, I agree. Excuse me. Creamy mousse made up of fine carbonation. It is creamy, but I don't notice any carbonation whatsoever. And tightly packed bubbles. Has a well-balanced and round mouthfeel for an exquisite tasting experience. Totally agree there. With a long layered finish, yeah, I can still taste some chocolate in my mouth. It's been a while since I sipped it. 12% ABV never gets in the way of the flavors, but gives an uplifting feel to the liquid, keeping it from overwhelming our palates. No indication of the ABV whatsoever. Even though I've now, because of having to redo this video, I've drank that much of the bottle, well, between what's in the glass and what I've drank. No warming whatsoever. No warming in the mouth, no warming in the throat, no warming in the stomach. No indication of 12% alcohol. Drinking a beer like this, a heavier, chocolatey, rich, decadent stout, you know there's big alcohol in here. But this hides it perfectly. There's no indication of it. You don't taste it. You don't get a burn from it. Nothing. But you just know from the flavors and the mouthfeel and the everything involved that it's going to have a high ABV. Although this is super readily available everywhere, I don't see it in bomber bottles like this. And I understand why it was put in the Rare Beer Club. Because although it is readily available, a lot of people would pass it by. I mean, I see it on the shelves all the time. I never think about it. And I'm glad it was put in the Rare Beer Club to force me to try it. And if you made it this far in the video, this big horns up beer, and you're a beer reviewer, and you can find this, I challenge you to review it. Because this is an excellent stout. And if you've made it this far in the video, I really challenge you to review this beer. Because it's just a phenomenal stout. It's really, really good. And if you're not a beer reviewer, but you've had this stout, let me know down below in the comments. I'd be interested to hear what other people's opinions are of this Speedway Stout. Highly rewarded, really good stout, pretty easy to find. I don't know what their global distribution is, but if some of you guys over in Europe, you can get it, it'd be cool to see you review it as well. But this is a really good stout. And once again, I apologize for the interruption. I'm a dummy. I'm not a professional here doing this. Sometimes you make mistakes. I should have realized I needed to delete some videos and things off my phone. I ran out of space. You would think whatever I have, 500 gigs or whatever it is on my phone would be more than enough. But sometimes you got to remember to delete that stuff. But it's an adventure doing this. It's an adventure doing these beer reviews. Hope you all out there still appreciate me doing them. And as always, embrace the adventure.